After taking a few years off, I decided to do some markets this year. I always really kind of have a lot of fun at them. And, you know, if I wanted to sell some work, it seemed the best way to get my stuff in front of people. Before doing a market, there is a lot of prep work to do, especially since I hadn't done them for a while. I had to make new displays for the new merch, of course, and getting all that done takes a lot of time. I think I spent a couple of weeks getting ready for my first market, and really, it only took that long because I had a general idea of what I needed to do. I think if I had not done any before, it was probably going to be even worse. One of the things that's really popular at my booths are these little magnets that I make. I don't know why everybody just loves them. I think it's an easy impulse buy for people who want to support me but aren't really sure what they want to buy. So I always have to make sure I have a lot of these ready. So I don't know what the hell happened. Um, this it's never happened before, but they're dry and they're still beep and cloudy. And what the beep? I don't have more of some of these pictures either. And sometimes getting ready for these markets is just rolling with it. It had been a while since I had to make new magnets, so it was extremely frustrating when I had that setback. One of the things that I have learned over the years is to make sure you put your name on all your prints so that when people get home, they don't have to say, "What was that person's name? I cannot remember, but they were so awesome and I love them and I want to give them more money." So you got to make sure you got those on there. I also this year started making these little jewelry pieces with some of my paintings on them. It's a similar sort of process to how I make the magnets, but making them into little cabochon pendants. I had a lot of fun with them, and actually they kind of sold pretty well. This is the hand embellishment that I do on these prints. A lot of gold painting and then gold leaf work. It takes forever, which is why I charge additional money for the prints that have this additional work. I also like to have little free stickers for people. These are my zesty stickers for Pride that I made. It's super fun. It's my first market. Look at us. We're having so much fun. I shared a booth with an awesome creator and just met so many fun people. Sales at that market were not great, but that's okay. That was not really the point. Hello. This was a much bigger market, and we did really well. There's those new jewelry I was talking about. And then some people decided to have fun with it. Still raining at the market. Everything's pretty soaked. And the worst part is, my Cheerios are wet. Sad. I love these giant buckets of water that fall down. I know it's so bad, but I love it. I also was just really enamored with the way the sun peeked through here. So beautiful. Sales were much better at this event. Is it because we were right outside of a brewery? Possibly. It definitely didn't hurt. So it is the next morning here, and I have all of our market stuff out to dry off because it didn't get quite dry. And then we just had to pack it up in the car and get out of there. Whew. These little table draperings were completely soaked. So is the bunting, obviously. But this chair decided to become a bucket, so that was holding a bunch of water in it. And obviously the sandwich board, since it was closest to the outside, everything on it got soaked. But everything on it is a print, so it's not a big deal. And then also our wagon decided to be a bucket also, so that's all out here getting dry. But it's nice and sunny today, so it shouldn't take too long to get this cleaned up or dried off, as the case may be. Let's check on my tree. Hi, tree. Oh, look at you. You're doing good. This is one of my Pride events, and it was so hot we nearly died. Not even kidding. Hard to take any solid information out of the results of this event because of all the stuff that was going on, but these are the numbers. So let's review how these markets went. I try to put some little tabs in here, but of course it's not going to work. Okay. May. This is my first event in a long time. So I did a kind of a small one to kind of get my feet wet, as it were. I sold quite a few prints, I guess, relatively speaking. Some cards, and of course a bunch of magnets. People love the magnets, but my total sales was only $70, which, you know, I made my booth feedback, I met a lot of people, I had a good time, so, you know, I still count that as a win, right? Then June, let's see, this was a bigger event, Fruity Fest, and it was at Sociable Cider Works, which is a cool local brewery. So I did pretty well here. This is the event that got rained on so hard. I was one of like a handful of people who stayed, and I made a bunch of sales after the rain shower. My total sales for that day was about $300. Out of stock garlic prints and some of the magnets. Just put those out of stock notes after each event so I can know what I need to refill. And then Hudson Valley Pride. This one was rough. This was one of the weekends where it was so hot and so humid that I was actually physically unable to sweat. We were all pretty much dying. My helper and I both got heat stroke. I came home from this event, went to the backyard, got a hose, and just turned the hose directly on myself. Just clothes and all. And I have like a little hammock out there. One of the fabricy ones, not a knit one or whatever, you know what I mean. And I just literally turned it into a reverse hot tub. Just
in there with a cold hose of water on me and just tried desperately to cool off. It was really, really rough. So, turnout was not great. Everybody I met there was fantastic. Slow sales, but did get some. And I gave away basically a print. It was for $1 to a kid who really wanted it, and they were really a cute little queer kid, and they were out of cash, and it's whatever. I did it, so I only made about $87 in sales, which again, not great. I did make back the booth fee, but not by much. I'm out of stock with cilantro and cabbage prints. So yeah, sales not great. And I kind of had to retake stock, and then there was a big one that I was going to do in August that I ended up deciding not to do because it was a 3-day event, and I'd not done a 3-day event, and with my spine it just didn't seem like a good idea. And then it turned out that that weekend ended up being again another miserably hot weekend, and I would not have done well physically, so I'm glad I didn't do that. However, I have one coming up here in September, which I probably is not a good idea given my health, but I've already recruited 3 helpers, so I feel like it'll be good, or it'll be okay, and I really, really need the money, so we're gonna try that. All in all, markets, in-person markets, I'm not sure are the best fit for me in general. I definitely am not physically able to do a market every weekend all summer, or even just 2 a month would be a lot for me, especially if I should have done the median math on this. Okay, future me put median math here for how much that is I made. Let's do it after tabling fees with the median amount I brought in on those days. I would much rather do sales on the website, just physically speaking, because I don't have to carry all that gear everywhere and do all that. But I don't know how realistic it is to shift to that. Anyway, I like doing markets, which I think is the hardest part. I really like it. It's a lot of fun. So I'd like to try to figure out a way to do them in a way that is economically and physically reasonable for myself. I have no idea what that looks like, but we'll figure it out. Thanks for watching.